fun story. This is my third time trying to film this exact video. The first time I scrapped it because I was rambling too much. The second time I finished editing all the graphics and all the photos and inserts and everything. I was getting ready to edit the second round, which is sound, which is how I do my editing my videos on iMovie, and I lost all the footage, including the raw footage. So this is my third time. Let's all hope and pray it makes it onto YouTube. Hi people, if you're new around here, welcome. My name is Zee and I run this YouTube page. But if you're not new here, you might know me from Instagram under the handle Melly Beauty. So today's video, let's all hope and pray this works out, is my wants. The reason why I'm always broke. I came up with this title last night, and I'm just like, okay, this is a really good series title. So yeah, my wants, the reason why I'm always broke. So in today's video, it's gonna be a two-part kind of thing for this first round. The first part is tech, and then coffee and K-beauty, and then in my second video is gonna be Western beauty. So if you're wondering why I'm so dolled up today with earrings and all, the earrings kind of thing is more like a, what's it called, a second thought, like a sub thought, whatever that's called. I forgot the word for it, because I just finished filming my K-beauty video, full face of K-beauty video, and this is the look. It looks really good on camera. In real life, it's okay. My skin is a little breaking out, so there's all these bumps that I just don't like to see. But overall, it looks really good, really good. So yeah, and I've never worn earrings with hijab, so I decided to do it for the video. You guys are special, because this is actually the look that I was going for Hari Raya this year, but because of COVID-19, we have no Hari Raya, or at least I didn't dress up for Hari Raya. I was literally in my pajamas the entire day eating Hari Raya food. So you guys are special, you got to see my Raya look. Anyway, into the video. So I have my laptop with me right here. This is my MacBook Pro 2017 edition, and I have a whole list of shopping wants. So as I said in the earlier part of the video, today's video is going to be about tech, coffee and K-beauty. The reason why I'm splitting it up is because the makeup one portion, aka K-beauty and Western beauty, is really long. I have a lot of things that I want, hence why the title of the video is my wants, the reason why I'm always broke. Anyway, let me bring out the notes on my computer. I already have planned the next my wants episode, which is on Revolution Beauty, and that brand in and of itself, I have 2 videos on it already. So yeah, and this is my shopping ones. Well, you see Johnny in the background, you don't see his face, but here, look at how long my shopping ones are. They're super long. So my shopping ones, get ready with a cup of coffee. I have mine right here. I haven't touched it since an hour ago because I was filming my Get Ready With Me. And let's get into it. So now that I've scooted over onto this side, let's get into the first thing, which is my tech wants. So the first thing that I want, or the first thing listed on my tech wants, is actually the Canon M6 Mark II. So the reason why I want a Canon M6 Mark II is because I finally started this whole YouTube thing. I started first on Instagram, which is why I always plug my Instagram at the very beginning of the video. I started off with making content on Instagram using my Note 8, and then I moved on into YouTube using my Note 10 Plus camera. It is okay, but I want the audio to be better. I want the lighting. The lighting is fine actually, except for that stupid window at the back. I hate that window. That window just ruins my lighting. That's why I try my very hardest to block it. I just want to upgrade my filming setup, and on top of that, I do want to get back into photography. The last time I was really into photography was back in JC and secondary school. I used to use my sister's DSLR, so I used to take a lot of melancholy, is if that's how you pronounce the word, melancholy photos, a lot of black and white, sunsets, sunrises, natures, and then when there's school events, I would go and take people photography. And yeah, nowadays I'm not really into taking photos. I don't really have the time and I don't really have the inspiration because like there's no events. I don't really go out anymore to take photos. I really want to get back into photography, but I'm not really like as passionate about it as I was back in JC. However, I do want the camera for filming purposes. So yeah, the Canon M6 Mark II, given the specs, it's actually really all-rounded kind of camera, which I think suits my needs really well. So yeah, now moving on, the next tech one is more so like a question because for some context right now, I'm using the MacBook Pro, which also has the iMovie like software. So that is what I use to edit all of my videos from back when I started Instagram till now. Now I'm editing my YouTube videos using iMovie. The thing is, Apple is very expensive and I want to think about like having or investing in an iPad Pro to do my video editing when I'm outside. I don't want to have to lug around my MacBook Pro, and on top of that there's the Apple Pen. The pen is actually the thing that I want to use to like actually handwrite a lot of the things, make my videos a little bit more personal and make it a little bit more pinpointed because there's only so much you can do with the trackpad. I want to like elevate my videos a little bit more with the iPad Pro, but the iPad Pro is very expensive, like very expensive. To have the case is another like what, $300, $400, $500. The Apple Pen itself is another $300, $200, $300, and it's a lot with the iPad Pro. The iPad Pro itself is like almost $2,000 if you get expanded storage, which is what I want. I want expanded storage on top of that. So it's a big decision to make. So the question is, do I stick with Apple or do I move on to this new piece of tech that I found on Google Explore page? I happened to see it and I was like really intrigued. For context again, I am a huge fan of Samsung. Like I love Samsung phones. Right now my current phone, which is what I'm filming on, is the Samsung Note 10 Plus, and yeah, and I also really like the Samsung Pen. Ever since I switched to the Note 4 back in first day of high school, I've never gone back to Apple. Well, I did once and then never again. I just missed my Note series so much. So the new piece of tech that I'm talking about is the Samsung Book Flex laptop. So the thing about the Samsung Book Flex is that it is a laptop. It's like literally a laptop, but it's also capable of transforming into a tablet. And on top of that, it has the S Pen built in, which is what I really like to use. I'm comfortable using the S Pen. I think for people who do like graphic designing and illustrating really seriously, the S Pen might be a little bit too short, but for me it's perfect. So yeah, it has everything all built in for cheaper. They don't have it in Singapore, which is the problem. If they have it in Singapore, I think I would be a bit more convinced. Like the salesperson can talk to me about the tech specs and everything, and I can actually try it in store, but it's not in Singapore, so it's a little bit of a gamble for me to like switch to it. So yeah, I want to try out the Samsung Book Flex, but this is the huge but that is making me question myself about whether I should stay with Apple or switch to the Samsung Book Flex, which is the editing software. So I'm very familiar and I really like the interface of iMovie. I have a feeling that Final Cut Pro would be the same kind of interface, if not a lot better, because you can have a lot of different like parts of your video all in the same editing project, whereas with iMovie you can't like layer photos on top of each other, so it's a little bit difficult for me to edit. So should I stay with Apple or should I move to Samsung Book Flex and switch to Adobe Premiere Pro? The thing is, I tried Adobe Premiere before, the 2011 version, so yeah, it's a really old version, and I did not like the interface. It was so, in Chinese we call it 真的麻烦. Like I really hated it. It was so troublesome. It was so hard to like deal with. So I'm not so sure how Adobe Premiere Pro will be like, and yeah, that's one of the issues I have. If I had no issues with Adobe Premiere, I would totally switch to the Samsung Book Flex and pay that amount because it's a lot cheaper than the iPad Pro. So yeah, that's basically it. Whether I should stay with Apple and use the iPad Pro or switch to Samsung Book Flex for something that can help elevate my video editing. So yeah. Next up is number 2, coffee ones. So for coffee ones, I've gotten my French press. So fun fact, another insert context kind of part. I recently graduated from university. Thank God, alhamdulillah, I have graduated. So for my graduation present from my family, I asked my sister actually for a French press. If you guys didn't know this about me, I'm really into coffee. I like instant coffee, so things that you make at home straight out of a sachet. Bottled coffee, things you buy from a convenience store. Chain coffee, so Starbucks, Costa, Cafe Nero, Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. I love all of them. And also homemade ground coffee, like barista made coffee. Those like specialty coffee made from baristas who know their craft. I love all coffee. And the thing is, I recently got into coffee grounds because my sister brought back coffee grounds from both Italy and Vietnam. And since I've tried legit ground coffee made from coffee beans instead of my usual instant coffee, and chain coffee from Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, which is my favorite coffee brand, by the way. Just saying, not sponsored. I just really like Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. Anyway, yeah, ever since I tried actual ground coffee, I can't go back to instant coffee at all. The only instant coffee that I find is really good is Maxim coffee, which I'll insert a photo right here, in the flavor simple latte. That is my favorite instant coffee and the only instant coffee I will ever drink from now on. I do want to try their more expensive line, which is advertised by Gongyu, called KANU. That looks really good. However, that is a lot more expensive than their basic Maxim line in the yellow packaging. So yeah, hopefully I can try that out. So yeah, I have a French press now. It's outside. My dad is taking photos because it's literally arrived half an hour ago and I'm just so excited to use it. Yes! Anyway, French press. Basically, my coffee wants is that I want to try more different types of coffee. As of right now, I've only tried 2 different kinds. One is a Tesco brand, which I'll insert right here. And then the other one is a brand called Suzuki. So I'll insert another photo right here of that particular one. And both of them I don't really like. So far, the only coffee beans that I've liked are Vietnamese style coffee grounds. Those are my favorite. I love Vietnamese style coffee. It's just my favorite flavor. But I still want to expand my coffee taste buds and my coffee palette. So I want to try a lot more types of coffee and coffee beans. On top of that, my second or third? I think second coffee one, which is a coffee grinder. I want a coffee grinder because I've heard, I'm not so sure, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below, that pre-ground coffee is not as good as actual coffee beans, because pre-ground coffee, the coffee grounds lose their flavor because they are exposed to air once you opened it. So if you leave it standing or you don't finish it quickly enough, the flavors will change or get muted or whatever. So it's best to, whenever you make coffee, grind your coffee fresh. So yeah, I want to have a coffee grinder to grind coffee on my own whenever I make coffee. I actually do have a coffee grinder or a grinder right now that can be used for coffee that my dad bought, but I do not want to touch that at all because my dad bought that for my mom as a spice grinder, and I do not want spices mixed in with my coffee grounds. I know there's such a thing as chai latte, and I will buy and make chai latte if I want chai latte, but if I want coffee beans, I want coffee beans, So yeah, I will not be touching the grinder that I do have at home that can be used to grind coffee beans. So yeah, that's it for coffee ones. Now moving on to the really long portion, which is K-beauty ones. So my K-beauty ones is about where is it? This long, and there's a lot of brands, so it's gonna be really long. So the very first brand that I want to talk about is Bia. So Bia is one of my currently favorite Korean brands. I have quite a few things from them. Let me just go get them. So I have, majority is their lip stuff and then their eyeshadow duo. This eyeshadow duo from Bia, sorry, it's upside down. This is called Sociable. This is my favorite eyeshadow palette duo, whatever, basically eyeshadow in my entire collection, and I have quite a few eyeshadow palettes. For this duo to be my favorite, the reason is because it's so easy to use. Before I show you the inside, let me just apologize for the fact that the shimmer shadow is smashed, so it looks a little janky. But yeah, this is what the palette looks like. It's very simple and it's very like easy. If I want to go out and I want to put on makeup, or if I need to put on makeup for work, or if I feel like putting on makeup for work, I work in healthcare, hopefully still waiting for a job. I work in healthcare, so like I can't be wearing like this kind of makeup to work, you know, it's a little bit too out there. But this is really like great for everyday, great for work, great if you just don't want to think about it, because it is a duo and it works really, really well. So this is my favorite eyeshadow palette. I also have the Bia Last lipsticks. I have shade 19 and 20. These are my favorite. And last but not least is the Bia Last lip tint. So yeah, I really like Bia stuff. What I want from Bia is actually their new line, which is the final line. I don't know why they call it that, but it's called the final line. So the first thing that I want is the final eyeshadow palette in Trot Star. That looks so good, and the reason why I want it, or how I even found out about it in the first place, is from a YouTuber, a Korean beauty YouTuber called Minsko. She did like a preliminary video testing out the palette before her review, and it looked so good. It looked so good, like really, really good. And if the quality of the Trot Star final eyeshadow palette is anything like the Bia eyeshadow duo, I'm sold. Like I am completely sold. And I also want the final tints, which is, here's the photo. Minsko also did a review on that, and they look really, really nice. The formula is a lot like their Bia Last lip tints, just a lot more pigmented, and the colors are a lot more my alley, very brown undertone. So I'm very excited to try that. However, I can't seem to find the final tints from Bia anywhere. I can find the Trot Star eyeshadow palette on Shopee and the Singapore Bia website, which is sky007, bia.com.sg, and My Beauty Moments. On those websites, it retails for $29.90. On Shopee, you can find it for around the same price, around $29. Though I have found a Shopee store that sells it for $27.90. However, at that store which sells it for $27.90, it is out of stock, and I'm just like... So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, I'll link all the websites where you can find it down below for people who live in Singapore. That's for Bia. The next brand is Clio Professional, or better known as Clio. I actually really like Clio. I have stuff from them too. My favorite items being their lip stuff. So I have their Rouge Hill lipsticks. Really love this formula. All their formulas for their lipsticks are really good. Not so much the matte stuff, but like their lip tints, their like normal lipstick line, and yeah, the lip stuff is where it's at. I'm not really convinced to try out more of their base stuff. I have a Clio cushion. It's called the Foundwear XP cushion. If you guys want me to do like a review on it or whatever, or like just talking about the product, leave it down in the comments below. But from my experience, it's very finicky, and I'm not gonna go too much into it, but not really my favorite. And that kind of like turned me off from other Clio based stuff, because from that cushion and also reviews that I've read, people have like a hit or miss experience with Clio based products. So yeah, but things that I do want to try from Clio, first of all, is their Pro eyeshadow palettes. So I think currently they have 6 or 7 color schemes. When I first filmed this video that the footage got lost, I said they had 5, but actually they pretty recently came out with like 1 or 2 more. So they have about like 6 or 7 color schemes. As of right now, I'll insert the photo right here. I'm not really into their first 2 releases, which are in stores in Singapore at Watsons. They were kind of like for me, but I do want to try the more recent releases like Street Break. Those I really want to try out. Those look really nice and deep, especially for my skin tone. I think they look really good. But the reviews and like what people have said about the eye palettes, a lot of people have been hit or miss regarding the quality and the pigmentation of those eyeshadow palettes as well. So I want to try them out, but we'll see in like the future whether I do get them once I get a job, you know. Yeah. And then another thing that I want to try from Clio is like their colored face stuff. So they have like a contour palette, 2 blush palettes, as well as the Prism Air face line. I really want to try all of those. I've tried the first like blush palette the first one that they come out with in store, and like I didn't really like the shades because they only had one shade that would suit me, and then the rest were really pastel, like very strong white based blushes, which will not look that good on me. They will look really pale, really ashy, really like So I'm really glad that they came up with a second eyeshadow palette which has shades that fit me a lot more, that I can use. And then their contour palette is like a true contour palette. There's no shade for bronzing in there. It's totally only for contour, which I'm not exactly that, how to say, jumping for joy, because I do like my face palettes to be all encompassing. So like highlighter, bronzer, if it's like a contour palette, highlighter and bronzer in one. And then if it's a blush palette, all blushes should be like, I will be able to use. If not, it's like a waste of money. So the contour palette I'm interested in, but it's still like a little bit iffy because it's very strongly cool toned. So I mean, it is called a contour palette. Maybe I'm just being picky. Anyway, moving on to the Prism Air line. So they have Prism Air eyeshadow and Prism Air highlighters and blushes. I really want to try their highlighters and blushes because Kenny's right here, really likes them, especially the blushes. Even Tati has tried the highlighters and she really likes the highlighters. So I really want to try them out. And the reason also is because they are glowy blushes. They're not shimmery and they're not glittery. They are glowy blushes. And I've had one glowy blush in my life and that's about it. I've never had a glowy blush after that. I'm always in the makeup section of like Guardian and Watson's here in Singapore, and I rarely ever see a glowy blush. So I do want to try the glowy blushes from the Prism Air line from Clio. So those are the things that I want to try from Clio. Coffee break. Next up is 3CE. So what I want to try from 3CE is literally all their eye stuff, all the lip stuff, and all their like colored face stuff, mostly just blushes. So yeah, because 3CE is that brand I've known about since I was in like middle school. It's a cult favorite brand, and Darcy really likes 3CE, so does Kenny, and they're dark skinned girls, they are melanin queens. 3CE works on them, so obviously they work on me, and they use 3CE so religiously in their videos. I'm just like, I need them so bad. What I want especially is recently they came out with their cloud tints or whatever. They have like a whole set. I want the entire set. I want the entire thing, and I really want their Chick and Eye multi-pots. I want their 910 eyeshadow palettes and their Mood Matte Recipe lipsticks. I've tried the Matte Recipe lipsticks and it's a lot like the Bia lipsticks. So if you don't want to spend 3CE money, just get yourself Bia lipsticks. But I really want 3CE, and like I'm not gonna buy it in Singapore or like through Shopee. I kind of want to leave it for when I go to Korea and buy in Korea. I want 3CE, all of it. Okay, next brand is like an OG Korean beauty brand. I live in Singapore, which is Southeast Asia, and we've had Etude House since like I was in, when was it? Middle school. I was 13 and I knew about Etude House. A lot of my first skincare stuff were from Etude House, and Etude House skincare, top notch. Anyway, the things that I want from Etude House is actually their new, well not new, but newly reformulated supposedly, and newly packaged double lasting foundation. So I've tried their double lasting foundation before and I really liked it. However, the thing about the new double lasting foundation range that is only available in Korea, by the way, it's a Korean release.
Hi people, Editing Z here. I just wanted to clarify what I said in the video. The reformulated double lasting foundation is now out in Singapore, but when I filmed this video, it wasn't out yet, hence why I said that it was a Korean release and not a Singapore release. So I just wanted to clarify all of that. And yeah, on with the video.
It's not a Singapore release, though you can get it on Shopee. The shade range is horrendous. It's like really bad. I'll put up the Singapore shade range here first. So look at the Singapore shade range. You can pause the video, stare at it, and then I'll show you the newly repackaged and reformulated double lasting shade range Korean release here. And do you see that? Do you see the shade range? It is absolute garbage, trash. And like, I never understood it when it comes to like Korean beauty and their shades. Like, a lot of people that I watch on YouTube who are Korean beauty YouTubers Pony, Minsko, Shinnim, Lamuk is her name or something like that. Like these are the more popular ones. Their shade is usually 21. Like the lightest. Pony wears shade 21 in the Etude House foundation. Why do you need shade 30? Why do you need shade 17? Why? No one is actually that shade. Or maybe 17 yes, but not 13. 13 is just like paper white. Who is paper white? And then on top of that, 17 and 21 have all three undertones: neutral, cool, and warm. However, when you get to like 23, 25, 27, there's only either 2 or 1 undertone. Why? Most Asians are yellow undertoned. Most Asians are neutral undertoned. Well, but your neutral is so pink or so orange. And why is there only 1 shade? That's a whole other video. I will not continue rambling. Basically, the shade range sucks. So, yeah. Moving on from the double lasting foundation, I want to try out the fall and winter release 2019 from Etude House, their eyeshadow palette called Maple Road. That looks really good, and it looks a lot like the Huda Beauty 9 pan eyeshadow palettes. And Minsko did a review on it, and it looked so good on her that I really want to try it. It's really cheap too on Shopee for like $15. You can find it for like anywhere between $15 to $20. Don't buy it in stock, please, unless you have that kind of money to burn and you want the points, by all means. But if you don't have that money, please don't spend it in store, just buy it online. And last but not least is the rest of the Sebum Soak line. So if you watch what I got for my K-Beauty video, you will have seen that I bought this, the Sebum Soak T-Zone base from Etude House. I wanted this first because I already had the pore primer, which is the No Problem primer from Touch in Sol. So I didn't really need the pore primer from the Sebum Soak line, though I'm very interested to try it. The powder, however, from the Sebum Soak line, I'm not very interested in, simply because I'm not into super mattifying powders anymore, and that is specifically a Sebum Soak, aka mattifying powder, so I'm still a little iffy on it. Plus, the thing about Korean brands is that all their loose powders are white, like white. So I'm just like, I mean, I am like not that dark, I'm like light medium when it comes to my skin tone, but no one wants white powder on their face to be like obvious. So I'm a little bit like, yeah. So that's all from Etude House. Moving on to the next brand, which is Pony Effect. I'm sure you guys know Pony. She used to be CL's makeup artist, and then she got onto YouTube and she got really popular. She did collaborations with MAC Cosmetics, ColourPop, and then Morphe as well. She has her own makeup line, hence Pony Effect. And when she first announced her brand, I was like really excited to try all of her stuff. And then they came into stores in Singapore, so I got to like see them in stores, swatch them, try them out. And then the more I like saw them in stores and like tried them out, the more I wasn't really like convinced to actually buy them. On top of that, the reviews were kind of like I know Kenny did like a review on her liquid lipsticks. I forgot what it's called, but like, yeah, she did the review on the liquid lipsticks, and I have liquid lipsticks from ColourPop that I like more, so I'm not really interested in spending that kind of money. The only thing I'm really interested to try from like her original line is actually her concealers. Her liquid concealers look really good, so that's about it. The rest of it, especially her original eyeshadow palettes that she came out with, looked so meh. Like in terms of color schemes and the quality and everything, I can find that same color scheme in other brands for way cheaper. So like her original, like what she came out with, was not very enticing over time. However, she recently came out with the Get Ready With Me eyeshadow palettes, and those look hella bomb. Like I would spend the $50 that they cost on Shopee and get them. First of all, they're 12 pan, which is really good for the price because she originally came out with 8 pans in her original like eyeshadow line, and the color scheme was like meh. These are 12 pans and the color schemes look really good. They have a cool tone and a warm tone one. I'm sold. The packaging looks really good as well. And then apart from that, she came out with pressed powder, which is right here, which I like for touching up and like blending in my like colored face stuff to make everything seamless. and also loose powder, which I am a huge fan of. I love loose powders to set my face after I apply foundation and concealer and everything, to set everything down. So those are the things I want to try. The only thing I want to try apart from the concealer from her original line is also her sponges. Her sponges are not that expensive, first of all, and second of all, there's 2 in a pack, so it's actually worth the money to get it. I have touched them and tried them in store. Obviously they were dry. They felt a little stiff. However, I've seen her use them in her videos and they look really soft. So perhaps when you massage them underwater, they'll be a lot softer with use and with massaging. So those are the things that I want to try from Pony Effect. Moving on, Huda Beauty. So Huda Beauty, if you guys don't know what that brand is, basically Huda Beauty is like a high-end brand in the Korean beauty scene. It's a lot like Makeup Forever, but the aesthetic and the style that they market it as is a lot more like YSL. Currently, the face of Huda Beauty is Blackpink's Jennie, though that's not the reason why I want anything from Huda Beauty. I do have a lipstick from Huda Beauty. It's the Lip Gel Crush, and oh my god, this is freaking amazing. This is the only full-size item I have from Huda. The other thing that I've tried from Huda is their black foundation. So like a couple of years ago when this first came out, I don't exactly remember, so this is a black foundation sample in 23W. It's a little too light for me. It's about this color, but just so you know, this foundation shade is a shade too light for me. Anyway, so when this first came out, they had like a sample kind of like promotion where you can sign up to receive a sample with no purchase. So I went to get it. Story time, when I went to get this foundation, I was not wearing any makeup, and the guys who were at the pop-up store, which was outside Takashimaya shopping center, they were good looking guys, and I got intimidated because I'm going into a makeup pop-up store looking like an absolute wreck. Like no makeup, no nothing. I was intimidated when I saw them at the door. I was just like, okay, I just went into Takashimaya. I was just like, I had to collect myself and collect enough courage to like, hi, I'm here for the sample collection, you know, with, oh my god. Yeah, anyway, fun story about how I got this. Back to the foundation. I really like this foundation. I used it for Hari Raya 2 years ago and it looked and wore amazingly well. Like I did get greasy in my eye zone after the day of like celebrating Hari Raya at my friend's house, and like it looked so good. At the end of it, it looked so good. Like the shade range sucks, but like the formula really looks so amazing. Huda Beauty and all the other Korean beauty brands, please get on the level of Fenty Beauty and come out with more shades, because trust me, there is a consumer base for you. Just look at Darcy, just look at Kenny JD, just look at me. There are people in the world, around the world, that want to buy Korean beauty. Just expand your shade range just a little. So that's from Huda Beauty. And another thing that I want to try from Huda Beauty is actually a perfume. They recently come out with a perfume. I don't know whether it's recent or it's new to me. Their signature perfume, I'll insert a photo right here. I was like really interested. It's not that expensive. On Shopee, I saw it for $110, which is roughly the price of a expensive perfume. So yeah, I'm really interested to try that. I will probably go to the flagship store. I don't know whether it's a flagship store, but I will probably head down to their flagship store at Ion Orchard and have a whiff of it if they have it in store and see whether I like it. If I do like it, I might buy it on the spot once I have a job, because once again I'm unemployed, or like buy it on Shopee. If I do like the scent, I'll buy the perfume. If I don't, then I'll just like, nah, don't like it. So yeah, now moving on from Huda Beauty is a brand that I have an eyeshadow from, and that brand is Holika. Oh my god, this video is 41 minutes long. Why? I have the piece matching 12-piece eyeshadow palette. Oh, that's what it's called. This one is in Mature Peach. This is the old packaging when it came out with the Spring and Summer 2018 Glossy Play line. Right now it's a different packaging, which I'll insert a photo right here. And yeah, I want to try everything else from this particular eyeshadow palette line. apart from that, I also want to try out their terrazzo eyeshadow palettes. So the thing about the terrazzo eyeshadow palettes is that they are the size of my palm, and my palm is like the length or like the height the height of like a standard credit card size, and that's how big the palette is, but it's square shaped. Obviously, it's a 9 pan, and they have both like a neutral brown color scheme and a like purpley mauve neutral everyday color scheme as well. So I want to try the terrazzo eyeshadow palettes, the 12-piece eyeshadow palettes, and then their hardcover concealers. They also have the hardcover glow foundation, which I'm not exactly into. If you guys want to know more about their foundation, I'll link you guys to Kenny JD's review video, because she tried out that foundation, so I'll link you guys to that video. I'm not really into the foundation because once again, it's a glow foundation. I prefer satin to semi-matte foundations because I have an oily eye zone. Kenny has a dry skin type. Her opinion might be more beneficial to you than mine. So yeah, hardcover concealers. Last but not least, from Holika that I want to try is the aloe vera line. Holika is known for the aloe vera line because they have that aloe vera gel in like an aloe vera shaped bottle. So they started off with that. Now they have like a whole aloe vera skincare line, and I'm really excited or like interested in trying that, because if the aloe vera like gel is really good, I really want to try out the aloe vera line as well. So yeah, that's all from Holika. I'm gonna end my video with the last brand called Romand, because this video is already long enough. It's already over 45 minutes long, and even though there's a lot more brands that I want to talk about, such as Innisfree, Mimi, Misha, Aritown, Vanilla Co, Egglitz, Espoir, VDL, a new brand called Dasik as well that Minsko talked about. There's a lot of Korean beauty brands, and there's not enough time for me to talk about them all, so I'm just gonna end it at Romand because that's like the last brand I'm really interested in. So Romand is actually a really new like Korean beauty brand, well, at least new from what I've seen, compared to like Innisfree, Misha, and Etude House and Aritown, which are like I've known since all the way in middle school. So Romand is a really new brand, and we have Romand in Singapore. It's available at Guardian and this particular website called virvici. I think I'll link them down below. You can get Romand stuff from these particular areas. And the things that I want to try out from Romand is actually their reformulated 0 gram matte lipsticks. I've seen their 0 gram matte lipsticks in stores, and I was not impressed when I got to feel them in my hands. I've been wanting to buy them since 2018 when I first saw them, when they first came out with the brand, and I couldn't like feel the packaging, but they looked weighty, they looked really nice, so I thought they'll be like a weighty packaging, because they are like almost $20 on Shopee, and in Guardians or on the virvici website, I'm not so sure, don't quote me on this, but in Guardian I'm definitely sure of the price, which is $22.90. And then when I tried it and I held it in Guardian, I was like disappointed at how cheap the packaging felt. They feel almost exactly like the Bia Last lipstick packaging. Like the packaging is exactly the same quality wise as the Bia Last lipsticks, and I was just like, you expect me to pay $22.90 for that kind of chintzy packaging? I'd rather spend $17 on a Bia lipstick. That's $6 less, because they're about $15.90, $16.90 in Guardian as well. I would not want to. Hope whoever's in the ambulance is okay. Anyway, I would not want to spend an extra $6 for that kind of chintzy packaging. Though the formula, I would say, when you compare Bia and Romand, the Romand matte lipsticks are a little bit more creamy, a little bit more pigmented, a little bit more smooth. Just a little though. Just the packaging turned me off from buying them. So now that they have repackaged it, I hope that they are more worth the price, they're more weighty. They definitely look way better than their previous packaging. So yeah, I'm interested in trying that out. Last but not least, from Romand, the last product, finally, the last product that I want to try out is their zero layer foundation. So Romand has two foundations. One is in like a pink packaging, I forgot the name of that, and then the other one is their zero layer foundation. I actually want to try out both, but I'm more interested in the zero layer foundation because I've tried the zero layer cushion foundation in store, and I actually really like the formula, The shade range once again sucks because I'm shade 25 in the zero layer cushion foundation, and that was so orange. Like, I would look like a freaking hot dog if I decided to just go for it and buy it. It's pretty orange. So I hope the foundation, like in the pump bottle, is not as orange. I don't have high hopes for that to be true, but I just hope that is no. And it comes with a brush too, so that's nice. That's all for my K beauty ones. This video is almost an hour long, and it's gonna be such a horrible thing to edit, honestly. Oh my gosh. But anyway, I hope you guys liked that video. We're gonna move on to our outro. So in today's outro is just like my failed 2 attempts at filming this video. We're gonna talk about K-pop idol of the moment. As you guys know, I'm really into NCT's Johnny. The man's really fine. He's so fine. He not only is he really good looking, but he's also personality wise really cute, really fun, really witty and funny. Whole package basically. Anyway, as you guys know, I am on Twitter a lot. I'm not really on Instagram. If I'm not on YouTube, I'm very active on Twitter, like super active. So recently, a couple of days or maybe last week, my Twitter timeline was blowing up with the 2 NCTzens that I follow. I only follow 2 NCTzens on my Twitter account because I cannot handle the stan realm. Doesn't matter which genre of music or whatever music, I cannot handle the stan realm because it is a lot. Like, a lot. And just the 2 NCTzens that I follow on Twitter, it's already a lot. They were blowing up my timeline with, first of all, Super M stuff. I'm fine with the Super M stuff because I'm too lazy to go look for all the content, so they are providing me with content. Thanks guys, shout out to y'all. And they also provide me with a lot of like fan cams, fan edits, so shout out to y'all once again. Anyway, back to the point. My Twitter timeline was completely blowing up with them like freaking out over Johnny, and I was just like, what is going on? Like, what is happening? Turns out NCT recently released like a video from NCT Daily. Well, as of right now, it's not that recent anymore. They've come out with more videos since then, but they came out with this particular NCT Daily video where people saw Johnny's latest tattoo, which is on his forearm. Supposedly, I think it's a flower, another flower. So as of right now, he has 3 tattoos, 2 unconfirmed and 2 confirmed, and that tattoo that they saw in the NCT Daily video, they were just going nuts over it, hence blowing up my entire timeline. I was like, okay. I'll insert the photo of the tattoo right here. And yeah, they were just blowing up my timeline over it. My thoughts on it is that as a Muslim, you know, tattoos are haram. And I'm just gonna be honest, please don't like hate me. This is just my religion and I'm not gonna impose it on anyone. This is just how I feel, and I'm entitled to how I feel. Which is, when I saw that tattoo, I was a little like, not disappointed because that's not the word. I was just a little sad, you could say, because like, another tattoo. But he's not Muslim. I shouldn't be sad. He can do whatever he wants with his body. If he wants 1,000,000 tattoos, he can have 1,000,000 tattoos. It's his choice. But for me, as you know, as a Muslim person, and the whole like tattoos are haram thing, yeah, you know, it kind of like, not saying that there are no Muslims with tattoos. It looks good though. The tattoo definitely looks good. He has a surprising aesthetic, to be honest. If it were me, I am more typical Tumblr aesthetic, you know, more like Mandalas and dream catchers kind of person. Not really whole flower. No, actually no, I am into flowers. But yeah, never gonna get a tattoo. I'm too, not only because I'm Muslim, but also because I am very finicky. When I get henna done, if it's not a design that I really, really like, trust me, within 2 days, I'm over the henna design. I'm just like, I want to scrub it off. I'm not into it anymore. And I will actually start scrubbing it for like a good 3 days until it all comes off. So yeah, that's it for K-pop idol of the moment. I hope you guys really like this video. It's a really long, rambly video. It's even longer than when I first tried to film it and the second time I tried to film it. but I hope you guys really like it. I hope you guys subscribe, stay tuned for more, do all the regular YouTube stuff, subscribe, notifications, like my video. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.